We got to start the presentation with a little stat here, right? That's what we do. And the top one here is something that intrigued me, right? That video content. It's been uploaded in 30 days. More video content to online than the TV networks have created in the last 30 years, right? So again, this presentation is about live and live broadcasting online. So we know content is being created, and more often than not, it's being ignored. Now, why is that? Well, my thought, and I'm up here now, is that we are living this on-demand world, right? Netflix has trained us to binge watch. We get YouTube playlists. I get sent a video from a friend and I will watch it when I have time. This is the on-demand world we're living in. So how do we break through? Well, it's through live. And that is, I think, no wonder everywhere we look today and want to look, we see live. Now, live isn't new at all, right? Think about sports, think about the news. We're used to seeing live content. We're just seeing it more and more from brands, more and more online is where we're getting this live content. So a couple examples to back me up so it's not just me up here talking. The Olympics. Remember they used to save the prime events for primetime TV in those hours at night? The Winter Olympics last year, they didn't do that, if you guys noticed. They streamed all 1,800 hours of the Winter Olympics coverage live online, right? The NFL, again, my personal opinion, you guys read about it, they say ratings are down, viewership's down, advertising's down on the TV, on the games. I just think they're actually thinking about it wrong. Because actually more and more people are just watching the NFL online, right? Streaming that. Think about what Amazon Prime does on Thursday night games. And the case in point, last Super Bowl, the most live streamed Super Bowl ever. Golden Globes, award shows. I'd argue one great place to still do advertising because you're going to watch that live, right? You want to see who wins the awards and don't miss it. But the Golden Globes was last year, the first time ever they streamed the award ceremony live. But they didn't just stream it on NBC.com, they put it everywhere. Hulu, Sling, PlayStation, YouTube. They thought about putting it everywhere, which I think is a great philosophy of live content. And then we're used to consuming news live now. Look at what Elon Musk does, right, with this Falcon Heavy, YouTube's second biggest live stream ever, after, of course, Red Bull's jump from space. And then brands, they're banking their business on live. This is Peloton. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out, right? Live spinning classes. I read a quote from the founder of Peloton the other day, and he said, if it wasn't for live, this would be the most expensive coat rack in your basement. And that is all about live content for him with this brand here. And it is pretty tremendous to check it out. So, live, right? It's happening. We're now expecting it online, especially with brands that we're working with. And again, as I mentioned, it's kind of creating content for demand instead of on demand, right? And the proof, well, it's in the data. We all love data, right? But I think this is super interesting that viewers are actually spending a lot longer time with live video than on-demand video that I'm talking about, right? This is from a recent New York Magazine survey they did. But only 5 minutes of on-demand content. That content that someone sends you a video, you're going to watch it later. You know, you probably have done that at your desk. But people are watching over 42, 43 minutes of live video content a day. That could be on their mobile devices and their iPads on their desk. Again, could be news, could be sports. But that notion of that. And again, I think as people are starting to prefer live content from brands. So, we're going to get into some business results and actually a B2B case study of live content, which I think is super interesting and different. But what I love about live and kind of this aha moment that happened a couple years ago to me and my colleagues was the idea that live can touch at any point of the funnel, the demand gen, lead gen funnel. I'm sure some of you have seen this. I have a colleague who's educated me on this a lot in a great way because, you know, I kind of understood it, but the idea that live content can intersect anywhere. The first time you see a brand, that could be through a live branded piece of content. You might be thinking about something, it brings you through consideration all the way to a sale. I don't know if you guys have noticed what Amazon's doing on their Prime days. They're having influencers, these social media influencers, go live on Prime Day on Amazon to tell you about products. Literally happened to me, thinking about a new TV, watching Prime Day, so I'm already in the awareness part of the funnel. I watch, I see an influencer telling me about a TV, I quickly buy that TV because it's on sale. Influencer did a great job convincing me live there on their site. So the idea of the sales funnel is gone from, you know, could have been days, weeks, months, to literally minutes by watching live content was what Amazon's doing. So, again, really sexy case study about Honeywell. All right, not a brand you'd expect to see, but what they used to do is these guys, this is the safety and product solutions division that we work with, like those harnesses you see them wearing. We're talking scanners, conveyor belts, but also muck boots and helmets, right? What they would do is put a press release out, say, hey, check out our new helmet. It's going to keep your workers safe. They would do a trade show to talk about these new scanners that are going to help with barcode reading. Well, they decided we need a new strategy. So what we do is 3 live shows in 3 different times during the year. They're about 30 to 60 minutes live. And this is where we launch products live for them. we talk about what they're going to do, how they're going to better business, and of course, how to get more information. So let me tell you about Steve and walk you through an example here in the last couple minutes I have. This is Steve. He's a manufacturing executive, right? Runs a plant, let's say, that has conveyor belts and these scanners I talk about. And he's thinking, hey, I need a new scanner for barcodes because Amazon orders are going crazy. So we find Steve online. This is literally what we do. What we do is we serve him up some pre-event, high-value, gated content, an invite to this live event that I'm telling you guys about, right? Steve says, this is cool, I'll check it out. Hits, I'll join the event. It goes on his calendar for a later date, right? Fast forward a week or so later, we go live. We actually have this live show, and it's everywhere. It's on Honeywell.com, as you see there in the middle. It's also streamed across any partners of Honeywell's that are in the show. They'll tweet it, they'll share it, right? We work with a really great way of doing some paid distribution of live content and work with premium publishers that take our stream live, right? We have media partners that take it, and it's everywhere. So Steve sees this, and he goes, this is awesome, the show. The quality's great, and I'm exposed to it in so many different places. I mean, think about Apple and what they do with the iPhone. Very similar, right? This is me hosting it. So I actually do host these live events as well, and I'm very popular in the manufacturing world, just for everyone. But if you guys need some help on conveyor belts. But that being said, this is the live stream. This is the show, right? This is our content. And this is me interviewing Honeywell executives that Steve would never have the chance to meet unless he tuned in live, right? So he's able to learn from Honeywell executives right there live in this 30-minute show. This is us talking about scan engines a couple weeks ago at our last live show in Cincinnati, right? And so you're from Walmart, and you're Steve, and you're watching, and you're learning these scan engines are going to make checkout even faster, and you're like, this is interesting. Think about that sales funnel, right? And of course, we're putting places where they can go to learn more information on it right on screen. Click, go, learn more. So Steve says, I'm going to go learn more, right? He goes to this post-event stuff that we're able to serve up to him, all this gated content. He served a white paper. He gives us his information. And this is really important stuff because now he's in our nurture campaign, right? Honeywell's got him through this piece of content into a nurture campaign. He's able to decide what type of content he wants. Honeywell and us are able to make and craft that specific content for him and serve him up that content. And of course, if Steve wants, he can click and actually get a phone call from a person to talk more live about. So Steve clicks, Steve's good. Steve then is talking to someone from Honeywell and he's off and running. Pretty cool way of live content driving business results. And hey, does it really work? It does. This is stuff from the client. This is not a PR spin, but the business impact here. Every 30-minute show and what the client invests in that. We heard earlier up here about the Alexa app. They're getting a 10x ROI on what they spend on the content to what they're able to convert in sales. In 2 years, we've gotten them over 5,000 sales prospects. Each lead of those, they equate, and this is their information, not mine, is the smallest deal they get out of that is $50,000 to multi-million-dollar deals from these companies that you would expect are dealing with conveyor belts, right? But most of all, the client says it's a stronger go-to-market strategy by using live. The views, 2 years, 850,000 people actually care about conveyor belts, scanners, hard hats, muck boots. Tons of website visits, and what I love about this is also all the media attention that comes from one piece of content and live content as well, of course the social and media buzz with it. So that's the case in point, and here this is kind of the show, and as we talked about, and as we think about the Go Live offering at Weber Shandwick, is making sure that it's placed everywhere. Using the influencers, using social, using the employees, making sure that where anyone is that's interested in this content is getting served the content, and then they have a place to go down the funnel to convert into business results. So hopefully I have convinced you about live content. Thank you for the 5 minutes.